everyone. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me once again on the vegan season, where it's the season to be vegan. Today I have a special one for you. I am going to make a macaroni pie, and what's going to take the place of the cheese is going to be cashew. So we're going to make macaroni pie with cashew cheese. So I have my setup already going. So of course we have our blender, we have water, we have our yeast flakes, we have our raw cashews, we have our pimento pepper, pimento red pepper, lemon juice, and for a sweetener I'm going to use maple syrup. And we have our dry seasonings, which is garlic powder, onion powder, and sea salt. So let's put everything together. I have my pot of boiling water on the stove. So I added boiling water. Well, I didn't add boiling water. I put water in the pot, added some sea salt, and I'm bringing that to a boil behind me. You'll see that in a few. And to that pot, of course, I'm going to add my elbows. I'll show you that in a few. To the blender, to make this cheese sauce, we want 1.5 cups of water. I already measured it in this bowl, so I'm going to add that in here. Put that to the side. Our 1/2 cup of pimentos, which is this roasted red pepper. So I'm going to eyeball it to get 1/2 cup. And this is going to help give it flavor as well as that nice orangey color. I'm struggling a little bit to get it out, but that is a-okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use all of it. Why not? I'm not going to use the liquid. I'm just going to use the pepper, because it's going to be 1/2 cup of packed pimento pepper. Ooh, I spilled a piece. That's fine. Okay, let's throw this out. I'm going to add 1/3 cup of lemon juice. So I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to measure it, eyeball it. We're going to add our dry seasonings, which is sea salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. We're just going to pour it in there. Raw cashews. These are yeast flakes. This is going to give it that cheesy flavor, and it's also very good in vitamin B. I'm dropping stuff. Sweetener, we're going to use 3 tablespoons of sweetener, which I'm going to be using maple syrup. So I have a 1/2 spoon, so I'm going to do it 6 times. Turn on your blender. So as you can see, the color of the cheese, if you look inside, it has that nice orange color. And this is our cheese sauce. So the noodles I'm going to be using today are elbows, gluten-free elbows that I bought. So this is what we're going to make our macaroni pie with. My water for the pasta is boiling, so I'm going to add the noodles in. Add it carefully so it doesn't splash back on you and burn you in any way. I'm going to do 2 packs today so that we can have a nice large container, cooking tray, whatever we want to call it, of macaroni pie. Or if not, if later I decide that I don't want to use all the noodles, we'll have noodles for another day to make another meal. So you want to put your macaroni in the hot water, in the boiling water, give it a stir. You can add oil if you want, but I'm not going to add any oil. What I did add was sea salt to the water. So you want to get that going. And at this point, you want to turn your oven on. Knock these out of there. And we want to do this with clean hands. Don't forget, I washed my hands prior to recording the video, but we want to do this with clean hands. So I'm just going in with my finger and just getting that noodle out of there. And at this point, we want to turn our oven on to 350, and we're going to let the noodles boil. Just follow the instructions of the noodles on the package. How much ever minutes it says to boil it, that's how long that you want to boil it for. Okay, so every package will be different depending on what the noodles are made out of. The elbows are finished. I strained them and I rinsed them in cold water. Now I'm going to add the cheese sauce. Let's move this aside to make some space. So we want to mix it in. It smells good. I used 2 packs of the elbows, but I took out some elbows because I want it to be nice and creamy and cashew cheesy. So I did take out some elbows, and I'll use that for another recipe. I'm going to add a little more cheese. It smells so good. So I have a pan that I'm going to use, and I'm going to spray the pan with a little cooking spray, some coconut cooking spray. Spray it nice and well so that when we cut into it, it'll just slide right out. Now I am transferring the macaroni pie to the pan, the baking pan. And if you want a taller, or I should say thicker macaroni pie, you could use a smaller baking pan to cook it in, or to bake it in, I should say. It looks good. And I do have leftover cheese, and that's why I took some of the elbows out so that I can have leftover cheese, because, or cashew sauce, because I want to pour the leftover cheese on top. And don't worry, this is not the only macaroni pie recipe that I have. I have more in the works for you. So stay tuned for that. Coming down the line on the Vegan Season channel. So I just want to get, you know, whatever cheese sauce I can get from the container of the blender. So from the cover, yeah, I'm using everything. Just want to get everything out. And if you feel the color is too orange, what you can do is use less of the pimento peppers. You know, you could use a little less, and the color will lighten up a little bit. But the color, you know, it doesn't bother me, so I use that much. Okay. Then from here, I want to add a little bit of paprika powder for more color. Just want to pour some in the cover. And just, not too much. Just sprinkle some on. Even though it's falling out in clumps, I should have shook up the bottle first, but it's okay. Shake it around a little bit. Okay, and this is how it looks before it goes in the oven. And we want to bake it at 350 degrees for about 30 to 45 minutes. What you can do is you can monitor it to see what you like. I like my top a little bit crusty, you know, so I may keep it in for the whole 45 minutes. So you want to do this uncovered, and in between, depending on how it looks, I may cover it or I may not. So I'm going to leave it like this first, and then we're going to bake it, and I'll show you how it looks while it's baking. This is what it looks like at the 20-minute mark. It looks good. It smells even better. So it's starting to form it's starting to dry out on top to form that crust that I like. So that's what I'm looking for. This is what the finished product looks like out of the oven. It's nice and crusty on top. It smells so good. I can't wait to eat it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make the seitan, what I made in the previous video. We're gonna have macaroni pie with the seitan on the side and some greens. So this is what it looks like when it's out of the oven, cooled off for a few minutes. Ooh. And this is how cheesy it is on the inside from the cashew cheese. So this is what it looks like when it's nice and cut. You see the layers of cheese on the inside. It looks so good and it smells amazing. Once again, thank you for joining me on the vegan season. I hope you enjoyed this macaroni pie made from cashew cheese. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, let's get to 500 subscribers so I can do a face reveal for you. Enjoy. God bless. Bye.